I can start?
Yep.
Oh, ready? This was a good second half for us. I thought we did some really good things. You know, I've been saying this along pretty much since I put this team together, that if we were able to not turn the ball over, you know, we could be really good. It's a work in progress, but those last 6.5 minutes of the game was really good basketball offensively. You know, you wish you can frame that, take that, and then let these guys see that each and every day. And you know, I thought our defense was really good. It's weird. It's really weird because I've been fortunate where I've been a part of really good defensive teams as a coach. You know, whether that was with the Memphis Grizzlies, you know, whether that was when I was an assistant at Arizona, the guys we had. But this defense that we have is really elite, and if we stick with that, we'll be a really good team. The problem becomes is when you don't take care of the ball, you just put pressure on your defense to get a stop every play, and so that's what you start to encounter. You know, but I'm really happy with what the guys did in the second half. You know, Bai is, you know, it's funny to watch him play now because he's just so seasoned out there. You know, that's the word I would use for him. You know, he's just comfortable out there as a player. He understands what he needs to do. He made some really good interior passes to Mo. And then I thought Lamar came back in the game, and I thought he really made some great passes, really settled us down. He did a great job out there. So, you know, really happy for the guys. Cam, I was happy for him. You know, and I look at Cam, and it's not the points that he had for me. He only made 1 3, so that meant he was attacking the bucket. You know, he got a couple free throws. You know, he has more to his arsenal than I think he showed, and he has to understand that he has to mix it up. But I thought he really, you know, played well, and you know, it was just a good collective team effort. You know, I look at the stat sheet, and it's funny because sometimes I say to myself, but I think that he understands the assignment. You know, Mo, it didn't seem like he was as productive, but you always look up, man. The one thing you can go sing anywhere is that he gonna get double-digit rebounds. You know, and so that I think that's credit to him. You know, and you know the ceiling that he has as a player. So I thought the guys did a really good job today.
You told us in the beginning of the year that the offense was going to run through the bigs, and it seems as you're progressing that Mo and Bai are starting to be more comfortable and understanding what each other wants, and now you got all of a sudden a guy like Lamar comes into play. He's, you know, beginning to understand what they're looking for and how to work with them, and that seems to be a part of how your offense is growing right now.
Yeah, you know, I think the bigs, you know, and I would add Peyton into that equation as well. But I think our bigs do a really good job of setting each other up. I think we can play through those guys. You know, we can play through Bai, and he helps Mo out. And then when P gets his minutes, I think you can play through him as well with the way he can pass it. And, you know, if we can get, you know, both Lamar and Jaden to just, you know, again, make great reads, keep it simple, I think that it makes the game that much easier. You know, I think that, you know, Kawasi, Cam, you know, all the guards, Akai, they'll benefit. They'll benefit from playing through those bigs. And once they get comfortable now, and Lamar did it, and I've been saying this the whole time, what happens is when you play with really good bigs, now you come off a ball screen and that big doesn't want to help because he wants to go back to his man, and then he just goes and he walks in for a wide open layup, point blank layup. So I thought we seen a glimpse of what we could be this afternoon offensively, and we gotta keep doing those things.
I think the game was tied about 12 minutes ago. In that last 12-minute stretch, you kind of pulled away. Was it just taking care of the ball? Was it running better offense? What kind of went into that last 12-minute stretch to be able to close that game out?
Taking care of the ball. You know, I promise you, all we got to do is don't turn the ball over. You know, and we're going to turn the ball over some games, but if we can play with 10 or less on a consistent basis, you know, we'll be fine. But we just can't. You know, what happens is when this is what a lot of people don't know about basketball. I say this all the time. You tire yourself out running back in transition when you turn the ball over. Seriously. If you turn the ball over, I would rather you throw it in the 20th row. At least we can set our defense. But when you have those live ball turnovers, it just ignites. What happens is a guard will get a layup, a guard will hit a three, somebody come and dunk, and now it's rally killer. It just, the momentum of the game just shifts, and depending on where you're at, if you're on the road, like now you can't do it. And that's the thing. And when we just don't turn the ball over, that was the key to the game. We didn't turn it over. 8 in the first half, 5 in the second. If we can do that, we'll be fine.
Going back to Lamar, it seems like he has a little bit of that shake and bake in him that, you know, allows him to get by his man and forces a defender to come at him. That again, you know, frees up maybe someone else to get that open shot, and that's another positive I think we saw today.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Lamar just played well. You know, he did some really good things. You know, 7 assists, 1 turnover, but I just thought he did some really good things out there on the floor. And so I think he's getting more comfortable, and I think today the players were, more importantly, they were comfortable with him out there on the floor, and I thought he did a good job.
You talked about, you know, taking care of the ball in the second half. It seemed like these first halves kind of gotten off to some tough starts. What can you do to feel like get the team off to a better start, you know, in first halves and not have to, you know, come play from behind the second half or make so many adjustments? Yeah,
we got to figure that out, no question. You know, because we can't put ourselves in the hole moving forward. But I also say this as well, and I believe this too. I just believe that the makeup of our team, and I think that we showed that against Georgia because, in my mind, we had an opportunity to win that game. I felt like there were some things we missed in that game. We lost to Georgia by 5. We beat Maryland Eastern Shore by 4. I just think that's the makeup of this team. You know, the one thing that I would say is, and you're 100% right, we don't want to get off to these slow starts. But what I take from this team is that we got backbone. I think that we got guys that care. And I don't think personally we would have won these games some of these games that we won this year. I don't think we would have won them last year. I really don't. You know, I'm in the locker room with these guys. You know, they're a connected group. And again, you know, they know we have things to figure out, and we talk about it all the time. And so we're going to figure those things out. I don't know what it is quite yet. But we got to figure those things. But one of the things is that we just got to make layups and no turnovers. First half, I don't want to say it, but we missed like 8, 9 layups. You know what I mean? So you got to understand the assignment, and the assignment is singles, doubles offensively, limit teams to 1 shot defensively, and we will be fine. And I think that'll help those starts.
Is foul shooting becoming a concern? It seems like today, you know, guys were going to the line for 2. It was like 1 out of 2 just about every time, and
it's been a concern. You know, it's free money. You know, and I just, you know, we're trying and doing a lot of different things, and we just got to keep working. But it's free money. You know, I understand misses every now and again. You know, but collectively as a group, we got to make free throws. You can't leave 8 points on the board. You just can't do that. You know what I mean? You gotta be in the 70s as a group. You gotta be. You can't be lower than the 70s. You need 4 to 5 guys for me, 78 to 85. I think that's a must, right? Like, you know, you got to concentrate. You got to lock in, okay? You should be able to, as a good free throw shooter, you should be able to pluck somebody who's been sitting on the bench for 39 minutes and 30 seconds and you put him in the game and he make free throws because it's really just a mindset, you know, and sometimes I think we get up there and, You know, and I've gotten on guys about it. Like, you don't even go through your routine. You know, you got to have a routine if you want to go up there and make free throws. And if it don't feel right, you can throw the ball back to the ref. He might throw it back to you. It won't be a violation though. But you know, you have to go up in there. You mentally got to be mentally tough. Go up there and make free throws. So you know, it's been a concern. You know, because we can't keep shooting like this because it's going to cost us.
Lamar told us that he was, I don't know if he used the word surprised, but the agility that Bai has, he said it's taken him a little while to kind of, I guess, to get used to that. Can you relate to that as somebody who played the position and obviously had to learn to know your bigs?
So what I think that he's pretty much talking about, and I've said this as well, I don't think none of our guards, our perimeters have played with really good bigs. And so what happens is that for me it was a little different because I go into college, I play with Sharon Rooks, I play with Ed Stokes, I play with Chris Mills. So we played through the post. And it was law that you had to throw certain passes. It was law that you threw it up high. And so I think that's what's happening to a lot of the guys is that they're trying to figure those things out. You know, and they will figure it out, but those are the things that are, you know, at the moment probably are different for not only Lamar but for a lot of guys. But, you know, it will get better, and I think that the other piece is that they're not used to bigs making plays, being able to make plays, and Bai can make plays.
You're going on the road this weekend, neutral site tournament. Kind of these early season opportunities like that. How much you find out about your team in these kind of tournaments, you know, against good competition?
Well, a good environment. You look forward to it. You know, I look forward to these type of situations. They're great environments to be in. You know, you're there together collectively as a group, so you spend more time together. And so I'm looking forward to going down there. And you know, we play DePaul on Thursday and Friday, and whoever the next game. But I'm looking forward to going down there to give us a good opportunity to see where we're actually at right now.
Yeah, this is a question outside of your team play. Been watching, you know, referees go to that table a lot this year for replays and just taking forever to make a decision. It slows down the tempo of the game. I mean, do you think there should be a limit on the time that they have to make a decision? I mean, it's just it's a little curious.
I'm fine with it. I mean, I've come from the NBA, so that's what it is. You know, I don't think I think that, you know, the human element of the game has been taken out with what I call the eyes in the sky now. So they're gonna go over there and check it, and I'll be damned if they want to mess the call up. So they're gonna go over there and look, and it's gonna be lost. So, you know, it doesn't really bother me too much. I understand, you know, the significance that it could have, whether it's for you or against you at that time, you know. But I haven't had to use it as much this season, but I will use it as we move forward.
Excellent. Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thank you.